Why governments do not want you to invest in crypto assets. And again, you can see the headline here on screen. I'll read it for you. This is a new bill proposed by the U.S. Treasury to have full authority over fiat stablecoins. This just doesn't make sense to me. Stablecoins is one of the most incredible inventions of DeFi. Again, back when I was talking about Bitcoin in 2013 with Max Kaiser, when I was talking with Andreas Antonopoulos about the future of money in 2015, 17, and 19, stablecoins didn't exist. These are coins like Tether, USDC, others as well that are pegged to the value of the dollar. They take the volatility out of crypto, but they still allow you to transact anonymously, permissionlessly. It's a beautiful, beautiful invention. Thanks to our friends over at Ethereum and the smart contracts they've generated. It's one of the many innovative concepts that are going to change the game when it comes to DeFi, give your financial freedom back to you, and cut out all the fees you're paying to these banks. And guess what? The governments want to try to regulate this piece of digital innovation that doesn't make any sense. But the governments are doing it because they are complicit with the financial institutions. And if you don't see evidence of this, look what happened in the last financial crisis in 2008. The banks invested in risky assets. I saw it happen because I was in the city of London. I saw them investing in the credit default swaps, in the mortgage-backed instruments, and then we saw the banks fail. And what did the governments do? They used your taxpayer money to bail out the banks and save them from the losses. We saw no one go to jail. We saw CEOs get massive bonuses and paychecks. Trust me, all the bankers, we did just fine out of that crisis. And so we know the government and the banks, they act together. They act together in their monetary policies. They act together in their taxation policies. So we know one is going to back the other because ultimately it's about controlling you, controlling your money, and controlling your freedom. And you need to start looking at this right now. And here's another headline that came out here in the UK. And again, I was almost flabbergasted to read it. It says this: cryptocurrencies could lead to limitless losses for the UK government. Let me read that again. Cryptocurrencies could lead to limitless losses for the UK government. Now, again, this didn't make any sense to me because I'm the one investing in DeFi and crypto protocols. My students and I are the ones that are making the big gains this week when we see pops and things like Ethereum and Cardano and Bitcoin. And yet the media is trying to scare and saying the governments are going to lose money here. That's ridiculous. That's like saying the governments are going to lose money when I invest in Amazon or I invest in Google or I invest in Twitter. And let's get this correct. I believe crypto is just like investing in those technology stocks 10 years ago. Imagine if you had bought Google back in 2005. Imagine if you had bought Amazon back in 2005. Imagine if you had bought Apple back in 2005. Think of the gains that you could have right now. And yet, I believe the gains and profits in cryptocurrency and DeFi are even more than that. I believe this is probably one of the last chances to get involved in this generational wealth, in this financial technology making the next move. And again, I tell everyone this, I told my mom this last night. And so again, be careful when you see the banks and the governments trying to tell you not to invest your assets. And we're going to see more of this going forward. Expect more regulation. Expect more of the banks to work with the governments and try to stop you from investing. But this train is going to keep going. And the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency and DeFi is that it is decentralized. So there's only so much that the governments can do. And if we all act together and we work forward, we are going to be able to power through this and make sure that we get financial freedom for ourselves and we give it back to the billions of unbanked people in the world, the people that can't just get a basic microloan for their farm or a basic microloan for their small business in Asia or in Africa or in South America. These are the people that really need decentralized finance. And here at London Real and here inside the DeFi Academy, we are making our mission for the next 10 years to give these banking services back to those people, and we couldn't be more excited. Let me play for you a video from Andreas Antonopoulos talking more about how these governments want to infect every aspect of your life. They want to monitor your financial transactions, and if you misbehave, if you become a bad boy or a bad girl, they can remove your chances and your freedoms to transact financially, which makes you, as you'll see Andreas say, a non-citizen, a non-person. This is a reality, and you must be aware of it. Here's Andreas talking about that point.
We've never had in the history of humanity the ability to monitor everybody's economic activity all the time. And to give that power to governments without question is extremely dangerous. It won't result in reducing terrorism, but it will turn several governments into terrorists themselves. It won't reduce crime, but it will turn governments into criminals. It won't reduce corruption, but it will increase corruption at banks. And it will put people at the mercy of a system in which, at a flick of a binary switch, you can become a non-person. Went to the wrong website, attended the wrong protests, associated with the wrong political party, expressed support for the wrong idea, off. You no longer exist. You can't buy food, you can't buy anything, you can't earn anything, and all of your money disappeared.
Because we don't give you a bank account.
No, you turn off the bank account.
Oh, okay.
Why not? Okay. And you don't give you a bank account.
Right.
So,
and since you can't use cash for anything, then you basically are a non-citizen.
You are a non-person. Right. And what this will end up doing is it will end up putting the burden, again, on the most powerless in our society, right? The poor, those who don't have ID, undocumented immigrants, victims of human trafficking, refugees. These people are going to be suffering the burden to create this bourgeois illusion of safety and give massive powers to governments that certainly haven't earned the trust to have these kinds of powers. That's scenario A.